All right, I hope everybody can hear me. It's our new setup here and the sound is good. If it's no news, it's always good news on the internet. So it's not like I'm even going to ask you to say, can you hear me? Don't you just laugh when you see those people on social media? They don't know what they're doing with their camera settings. And they're like, for like 2-3 minutes, they're going, I don't know. Can anybody hear me? And then you get... and then you get like the comments down below. I can hear you. The sound is fine. Move on with the show. So yeah, we're going to get started in, about 9 minutes. Again, just to be very clear, especially for you people who are new to my broadcast here on Natural Health 365, we get started with these shows in 10 minutes, even though I go on live first at the beginning. And you know what? I want to also just say really quick for you people who have already been hearing me say this over and over again, I've got my guy here who's watching behind the camera, all the stuff going on, comments and all. If you do have certain questions or whatever, something interesting, maybe he'll even yell out to me something and I can make a comment. But my point is, we're going to do that only inside the first 10 minutes. Because once I go live with the show, that's when I want to get a lot of engagement about all the stuff I'm going to go through with you today. It is most definitely today a shocking plan exposed. I'm going to leave you a little bit in suspense, even though you probably read some of the description of the show, up above here as part of this video. But it really is truly shocking. And it was extremely important. It really moved me. Something that I observed, let's just put it that way, as of yesterday, last night, and very early this morning. Don't ask me how early I get up, although I am only kidding around. I always tell people I'm up around 4 or 5 in the morning every single day. I don't know, just call me a natural early riser, but it feels good. Anyway, I watched something last night and early this morning, and it really moved me. I've been in the health and fitness industry for 35 years. And I got to tell you, this kind of information, when I saw it, I said, man, this is going to be so shocking for so many people, but in a good way, right? Like the mainstream media, you know what they do. Red alert, breaking news. And it's something most of the time just really horrible, depressing, and it's not something, how should I say, that really makes you feel like you're raising your consciousness. And that's really why I do these shows. And it's elevating my consciousness. And again, I'm not trying to be self-boasting. I mean, what I mean by that is, every time I do one of these shows, I get feedback from people who've watched, and I start having interactions with some of the people that I've gotten to know over the last many months that I've been doing these shows. The more I practice doing this, I hope, the better that I get. So that's what I mean by, even for me personally, maybe you could call it for selfish reasons, doing these broadcasts are really about raising my own consciousness, trying to make improvements, get better all the time, which is something that I do personally enjoy doing. But I also hope all along the way that everything that I'm doing with every one of these shows, all the articles we put out at Natural Health 365, all the podcasts that I've ever done, any of these live videos, any of the special events, and by the way, I am working on a really big, exciting new project that I will be able to announce soon. I'm just not ready yet, okay? So kind of bear with me and I'll keep you in suspense about that as well. But bottom line is, I'm hoping that every time I do these things, it actually helps to raise consciousness out there as well. And I'm not just saying it, okay? I've heard time and again when people email us from the things that I've done, and sure, I'm not going to lie to you, it does make me feel really good. A really great feeling comes over me inside, my whole family, when we read some of these things that some of you have said about, thank you. This is something I feel has been the answer to my problem for a long time. or thank you for just being there. I mean, come on. That's what we all want, right? Don't we all want to feel like somebody is there for you always and that you do feel well supported, and also beyond just feeling well supported, that you actually learn something of value? By the way, we got a little over 4 minutes to go before we actually start the live broadcast that I do every single day at 12 noon Eastern Time. Tomorrow, just to be frank with you, honest with you, and you people who are here before the live show, I might be a little off with the timing tomorrow, so please forgive me in advance. But I'm going to try. I'm going to be traveling a lot tomorrow. I will let you all know tomorrow. You'll certainly get notification. I'm hoping to do it during the day, but it may not be exactly at 12. But otherwise, besides that, we like to do these shows every single day at 12 noon Eastern Time. So this run-up, which is now we're at about, I would say 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes to go now before we start the show. The reason why we do this whole 10-minute, on and on and on that I go is to allow people time to get notification, especially on Facebook. But, YouTube, we're going to put this out too. We're going to, by the way, we're going to do this on Instagram as well. So I'm going to have, my trusty assistant here is going to be actually putting this on for Instagram. So we're going to do that as well. And so Instagram gets to see the shows, and YouTube gets to see all of these shows, and of course Facebook as well. And I got to tell you, it's been a great experience. We got a little under 3 minutes to go before the start of our show. But yeah, and again, all of these shows, are really focused on things that you will most likely, I could say probably with 100% confidence, you will never see this kind of information put out on, ABC, NBC, CBS, blah, blah, blah. All the mainstream media outlets. They don't really do this kind of stuff at all. So I'm excited about coming out with this shocking plan exposed today. We're going to talk a bit about it today and give you some more references to look into. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be enlightening. I truly think it's going to be potentially very inspiring for you. And again, that's part of what I was saying before I interrupted myself. 1 second here. Oh, yeah? You going on for Instagram right now? Okay. Hey, Instagram. Welcome. We're live on Instagram now? Great. So we've got Instagram. We've got, and everybody else out there, we've got about a minute, 45 seconds to go before we go live with Natural Health 365 live broadcast that I love doing at 12 noon Eastern Time. But anyway, as I was saying before, I interrupted myself 2 times already today. The big reason why I do these shows is to hope that you guys are going to feel like, wow, this is what I was looking for. This is the kind of information that makes me feel better. I feel smarter. I feel more inspired. And I mentioned a couple days ago how somebody was telling me how they felt like they lost faith in humanity. Nah, don't let anything get you down like that. If that's happening to you because you're watching the mainstream media, honestly, just between you and me, I would say turn off the TV, because that's the design of that kind of TV programming, to bring you down, to make you feel extremely depressed, to lose all hope in life, and then you become like this non-functional existing human being that's just like meandering around. You don't know what to do with your life. Don't let that happen to you, please. I want this to be an invigorating, empowering, uplifting experience for you. And so, in 20 seconds, I'm going to do my very best. Let me get set up here, okay? And enjoy the music. It's funny. We actually had somebody who complained. Not really complained. I'm only kidding. Hey, I missed the music. Ha, ha, ha. But here we are with the music played up a little bit more. Here we go. Reality is not what it seems. There are hidden agendas. COVID-19 fear-mongering, for sure, and overbearing politicians. I think we know a few of them, don't we? What's really going on here? Hi, I'm Jonathan Landsman, your host for Natural Health 365 Live. We do this broadcast every single day, Monday to Friday, at 12 noon Eastern Time, exactly, every day. And it's really all focused on your immune system, helping to protect it, which will automatically improve your health. That's what this program is all about. I hope you enjoy the show. If you do feel like this message needs to get to someone, please feel free to share it with somebody. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Just tag somebody in the comments section, email this show to them, the link, whatever you feel you can do. I thank you very much because, as you know, if you've been following me at all, you certainly know that we are working our butt off over here to produce these shows each and every day. And also, please, one more thing that I love to say, special shout out to anybody who is new to this show. Please do me a big favor and type new in the comments section below. Let us know that this is your first time watching this broadcast, and we will definitely be sure to give you a big warm welcome. See this? We're real. This is not digital only. We're real people, and we will give you an answer. You know I'm only being a little funny there. Okay, so let's get started. There's a new film, and you probably have heard about it if you're really plugged in. If not, no worries. It doesn't matter either way. It's called Plandemic Indoctrination. Now, you may have heard of the first one. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. But let me just be really clear. This Plandemic, the second one that was just released, last night I watched it, and a bit this morning very early on to kind of brush up on some things, blew me away. I've been in the health and fitness industry for nearly 35 years. 1986 is when I got started. And I got to tell you, I've done special programs, videographers I've worked with, filmmakers. I've done lots of interviews. You know that. A lot of podcasts. I've been on the internet for years. I've seen a lot of documentaries. I've seen a lot of online events, blah, blah, blah. This blew me away. Just on the level of how well it was done. But then I'm telling you now, I wouldn't just get over here and do a whole show on, gee, go check out this film. It's just so well done with pretty pictures. No, that's not it, folks. The content is truly mind-blowing and easy to digest. I want to emphasize that because, like anything else, somebody can be a good storyteller and someone can just flat out be a lousy storyteller. They might be a really good person. They might be super intelligent and do very well on school tests. And they might have loads of degrees, right? Lots of rich professional experience. But none of that matters. They could either be a bad storyteller or a good storyteller. Well, this gentleman we'll talk about today is an amazing storyteller. And it's about the kind of things that every human being on this planet is going through right now. With this virus, the pandemic, epidemic, sickness, deaths, cases that everybody is hearing about, that's what Plandemic Indoctrination is all about. So if I haven't made it very clear to you already, I'm going to say it again. This is a must-see film. And if you know anything about me, I don't even do that. Like, oh, hey, this week I'm going to review this film, and next week I'm going to review films on this. I don't do this. I think one is all I can think of years ago that actually went to its premiere and talked about it. And it was all about 5G and wireless technology. And I thought it was very important that my audience know about it. Well, you know what? This is number 2. And it's really, I would put this as the very first thing that you should watch now. Forget about the rest of TV. Let's review some of the stuff, okay? I'll just kind of run through it and do a very, very basic, scratch the surface review of some points that came out in the film, okay? Just to give you a little, maybe a little incentive to definitely check it out tonight. So the movie starts off talking about Event 201. Now, I know a bunch of you know about Event 201, but please hear me out. It isn't just about, oh, yeah, Jonathan, I know Event 201, but whatever, I don't need to watch that. Please watch the film because it lays out the facts of what it was, which is basically an event that took place in October 2018, right? 2019. What am I saying? October 18th, 2019, Event 201 took place, and it was sponsored by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Oh, yes. Bill Gates is all over this event. 5 months before anyone knew about this whole pandemic that we're going through now. And the reason why I say that to you is because it was basically a designed fictional simulation meetings that they had with a whole bunch of, quote unquote, experts in their field. All the different disciplines are there represented throughout the world. And they were basically offering in this Event 201 only one solution to basically what we're going through today. 5 months ago, I'll repeat, they had Event 201 outlining exactly, almost to the letter, what we're going through today. And guess what their only solution was for a viral pandemic? And in their own words, essentially, it was this, that global business and governments would work together. Do you see this kumbaya, this nice, wonderful thing that they're trying to cultivate of one world government, one entity operating in unison, delivering the solution that the public needs to know about and have administered to them. And you know what's behind all of this is the vaccination of the entire planet. That is no exaggeration. This is the scenarios that they played out. And there were a bunch of other things that they covered, okay? So we're going to go over that. They reviewed things like conspiracy theories. You know, those weird people that sleep in bed at night with tinfoil hats. Some of them are so out of it that they walk around during the day with aluminum foil on their head all the time. You know, the really crazy people. And they literally came up with one very, outlandish conspiracy theory, and they bring it up to all the experts so that they, think of ways of dealing with this, because the public might think, are you ready for this? That Big Pharma and the United Nations actually created the virus. How crazy is that? What? That's nuts, I know. Why would the pharmaceutical industry want to create a pandemic, a virus, that got out into the world, literally scared the jeebers out of everyone, so much so that the only thing they were begging for was a product that they would produce? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, why would anyone think that? It's absurd. Anyway, moving right along. And so they said, maybe people would think this, that they did this for their own benefit. And they say it very monotone and serious, like, how are we going to deal with this, folks? And they throw that out there. They also looked at the virus itself, right? And they outlined with people hey, this catastrophic virus basically has, are you ready for this? Don't get too scared now. You know I'm being a little silly as I roll out this information, but it's for a point. I think you can read between the lines. They said that this virus has flu-like symptoms. Oh, no! I know. If you're not watching me right now, you're probably underneath a table or you're under the bed, but I do pray that you can still at least hear my voice because I have so many other things to share with you. Anyway, let me continue, okay? They talked about how hospitals are going to get overwhelmed. Oh no, can you hear the sirens? The shortages of personal protection equipment. They actually detail these things in Event 201. They even mention how people will be afraid to go into public spaces. They talked about, and isn't this wonderful? I'm so glad they made this a part of Event 201 because then all these these experts, they wouldn't be aware of the fact that what they put into these scenarios is how the public is so eager to get vaccinated. And they even put in 65% of the entire population can't wait to get a vaccine. Isn't that wonderful and refreshing to hear this news? They also said, very important to point out, that they might have to deploy penalties for people who give out misinformation. Penalties will be very important. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Expert out there, we will have to deploy penalties and we'll have to arrest people for violations of the rules. You know we're going to have to just arrest people. So they make sure that they put all of this out in Event 201 so that all the experts are well informed about this whole scenario. And then there's this very professional discussion about how we're going to handle these things. And they just want to let everyone know about this stuff. You know, oh, by the way, it's just a simulation. Don't worry about anything at all. Right. They also talked about controlling information in order to help people. Of course, right? If I totally control your life, you know, the person watching me right now, you know I'm only doing that for your own good, right? Does anybody raise their hand and believe something like that? Please post your comments down below. If I have total control of your life, is that only just to help you? I sound so noble, like maybe if you just let me do that, maybe I'll win a Nobel Prize, huh? You know how far we can go with this one. They also talked about wide-scale protesting and riots. Why? This is wonderful. They're controlling the information. They're helping loads of people. Everybody's well prepared throughout the world. The governments are working together. What's with these wide-scale protests and riots? Why would something like that be a concern of theirs? Oh, and they also throw in there's going to be some martial law that's going to be handed down to respond to all of this unruliness by the public. They also talked about a loss of faith in political leaders. That's like, I don't even understand that one. Like, how could you not trust most political leaders today? All you have to do is listen to them for 5 minutes, and you can see how much they care about you, right? Anyway, they did talk about this in Event 201, and the distrust of the media. They talked about that as well. So, you know, when it comes to all of these things, they talked about all this, and then they finished up saying, there's going to be a breakup, a total breakup of society. It's almost like something that they're dreaming of, you know? Anyway, so Event 201 finishes up basically in the film. He highlights how they even wondered, and it's incredible that they actually say this out loud in the public, does it even need to be this bad? Like, wow, could all of this possibly be a thing that they wanted to manufacture? And then they question whether it really just needs to be that bad to begin with. So anyway, just to take you back for a moment, There was this film that I mentioned before about Plandemic. And it was the first one that Mickey had put out. His name is Mickey Willis. And in May, he put out a film that was just called, basically, it was Plandemic #1. And they're both of them, Plandemic and Plandemic, right? The indoctrination. Both of these were, again, created by Mickey Willis. Big shout out to you, Mickey. You did an amazing job. Really proud of you and really in debt, appreciated for all the work that you've done. And I know the whole world is going to feel that way as they tune in and watch. So the first one focused on Judy Mikovits, who's someone I know. I've done many programs with her. She's the real deal, folks. She's an amazing, brave, intelligent, high-integrity woman, a doctor out there. And so the first Plandemic focused on her and her story. And basically it was about her, the idea of her alerting her higher-ups, her supervisors, that there were viruses in the vaccines. Hey, hello, alarm bells. We got to do something about this. Nobody gave a bleep about it. And basically, long story short, her whole career was destroyed because she wanted to alert the public that there's something not right happening inside the vaccines. So, of course, Plandemic was bashed. It was ridiculed. It was censored. Dr. Judy Mikovits' reputation was literally dragged through the crap and the mud and everything you can imagine. They tried to destroy her again, her reputation, when this Plandemic came out in May of this year, 2020. And they called, of course, the film was a conspiracy theory, like, don't even look at it. Something bad might happen to your brain if you watch it. And in truth, I'm going to tell you right now, plain and simple, the media totally lied about this. For example, the HIV research that was what Dr. Judy Mikovits was a part of, a big part of it, they said that Judy was the 13th author on that study. What do you think of when you hear that someone's the 13th author? Like they're nobody, right? It's funny, they left out one important fact in science. The 13th author means the lead author in the research. Isn't that interesting? They tell you one part, but they don't tell you the other part. She was accused of being money hungry. Do you guys remember that if you followed some of the bashing of Dr. Judy Mikovits? Oh, she's just in it for the money. She's going to get filthy rich because of this. Yeah, right. I can tell you, folks, doing this kind of stuff is a labor of love. And if you don't believe me, and I'm saying this with tremendous respect in my heart, you go try to do this stuff yourself. Seriously, I want to see more people do this. But if you don't love doing this kind of work, if you're not passionate about wanting to educate people about what the mainstream media isn't talking about, you don't have a chance in the world. And it's not about getting filthy rich. Let's not lose our focus on who's getting filthy rich. Pharmaceutical industry is one, if not the most powerful industry on the planet. So please, let's not go there. Anyway, it's quite the opposite, right? Needless to say. She was told if she kept quiet and didn't talk about this contaminated vaccines, because that'll panic the public. You don't want to do that. That she'll get paid millions of dollars in research grants. She would have a lot of her scientific work, her papers, would be published, and her career would flourish, and it would be amazing. Well, her lawyer even told her, this would be amazing. What a great deal you're going to get. She said she would have none of that. She turned it all down. That's why I said to you before, she's one of integrity. But anyway, we'll get back real quick now to Plandemic Indoctrination, the newest one that just came out that I really challenge all of you, please go get it. You can download it and watch it tonight. And it's no cost. And so here's what the movie gets into that's really interesting. They talked about coronavirus patents. What? What did you just say? coronavirus patents? They have patents on viruses? No, they don't do that. And by the way, if you're a little curious, who does? In 2003, you heard me, 2003, the film goes into nice, pretty good detail about how the CDC owns patents on coronavirus. No conflict of interest here yet, right? Just stay calm. Don't let your blood pressure go up. They have it on the disease, the virus, and the testing. The whole package. The CDC owns all of it. And oh yes, you can be sure and take it all the way to the bank. The CDC and Dr. Anthony Fauci, our top infectious disease expert, they work hand in glove with each other for many, many years. The CDC controls the entire coronavirus cash cow. That's how the film characterizes it, and I thought it was pretty cool because it's exactly what's going on. In fact, in 2007, the CDC actually filed to keep it all secret. They go on and on about this as well. And no one else is allowed to deal with the research or anything. That's what I mean by they own. The CDC has a stranglehold grip on coronavirus. If you were an independent researcher and you wanted to take coronavirus and do your own work, you can't. You're not allowed. Okay? They literally own it. But don't worry. There won't be any kind of shenanigans for one entity to control coronavirus, would there? So basically the research took place at Harvard, Emory, over all these last many, many years, right? The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, you might have heard about that research in particular. But something strange happens in 2013. The film continues to tell the story about how the NIH put a stop to it. And I won't go into too much more detail than that, but basically there wasn't anything else that happened. But then all of a sudden, they weren't supposed to do the research. But then the next year, the Wuhan lab gets $3.7 million released by Dr. Fauci so that they can continue this very dangerous research that wasn't allowed anymore. It just rolls on the next year in China, and then it's under a lot of covert names, which the film goes into quite a bit more. You've got to check this part out. It will truly blow your mind. And it's basically to hide that responsibility. Do you ever know entities or people that do this? You see what I'm doing with my fingers? Hey, it's not my fault. It's her fault. It's not her fault. It's his fault. No. It's not my company. It's your company. It was all about trying to play this sort of nut under the shells and try to see if you can find where the responsibility is. Yeah, great. That's the game, folks. Playing different shell companies, different names, pumping money through different entities owned by other entities. And then if asked, are you doing anything? No, I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not me. And they're all telling the truth, right? But they're doing a little sleight of hand. Well, the film Plandemic Indoctrination that I hope you watch tonight does a beautiful, magnificent job telling the story in a way that you can understand what is really happening. And please don't misunderstand me. There's a lot of research that goes into something like this, and Mickey provides it to you. So for all you left-brain people, and don't get me wrong, I love you guys. Oh, yeah, prove it to me. Oh, yeah, you're just making up that film. I want to see the facts. Great. Mickey provides all of that to you once you get involved. So we'll give you a little bit more detail again, how you can get it at the end of this little presentation I'm doing for you now. So the film also gets into Google. You know, that good old trusted tech company that is just, they're just so benevolent. You know, they like to take all this data, all of this information from all over the world, and they have this tremendously powerful search engine, and anything you want to know about in the entire world is right at your fingertips thanks to Google. Imagine yourself in anything you want, and the power is in your fingertips to just access it thanks to the internet and a Google search engine. Well, like I said right at the beginning, reality and what do they say? Truth is stranger than fiction. The reality is the film goes into how Google literally manipulates what you see and what you're going to think. And if you think that's crazy, controlling search results, if you're new to this information, look, I know that's a big shock, but they control what you look for, and then what is presented to you is literally a controlled mechanism by Google, the authority, telling you what's fit to see. It's that simple. And Dr. Robert Epstein out of Harvard, a behavioral psychologist, he actually warned in front of Congress that this was already going on from back in 2016, where Google has manipulated so much information to get in front of people that it was literally trying to steer how people were going to vote in a presidential election. And of course, they do it for a whole lot of other things as well. What's appropriate for you to see, what's not appropriate for you to see. They like to think of themselves as the ones who know what's best for you and what's not. But they also talked about this doctor in particular, that Google has a blacklist. They have actual lists of people, entities, sort of like a hit list, if you will. Oh, the ones that they're watching out for, so that they can protect you from all of their terrible information, basically so you don't see it at all. Facebook, by the way, is not as sweet an angel, compared to Google. They're doing the same thing. They're working with the World Health Organization. All of them, folks, are controlling a narrative. So all you have to do now is watch Plandemic, Indoctrination. Check it out for yourself, right? And keep it in the back of your mind the next time you're listening to information. I think you clearly see I have an agenda. Everybody has an agenda, right? But we have to watch with a discerning mindset. Really look carefully at what someone is saying, what they're doing, what they're presenting to people, and then, in the end, it's up to you. Keep in mind an interesting quote, which I love from the film. I hope Mickey doesn't mind, but it's a beautiful quote. It's out there from Plato. You ready for it? Those who tell the stories rule society. That's what we're all going through, folks. You turn on the TV, you pick up a newspaper, you listen to the radio, you stare at your phone, and you go through social media, and your feed is showing you things. Those who tell the stories rule society. And a lot of powerful people definitely understood this very well. John D. Rockefeller, he controlled all of the media. Think about that. Early 1900s, one guy has got a stranglehold over every outlet that people get their information from. You imagine that? I mean, now I did a show where it's like, it's more than this, but you get the gist. It's about 15 billionaires that control a massive amount of the media throughout the entire world. Even though it's under separate names, it's all kind of together in a very small club of very powerful, wealthy people. John D. Rockefeller was one of them. Oh, yeah, by the way, he happened to be the world's first billionaire. Just a coincidence? He controlled all the media, the oil, the industries. He used to also say, too, famous quote, competition is a sin. He didn't like competition at all. Let's just get rid of everybody. This way he could rule the world. Nice, right? Anyway, another example that was brought out in the film, and this, again, you cannot miss. Talks a lot about the CIA's Operation Mockingbird, which was basically the CIA admitting that they had writers, CIA agents, as writers, authors, publishing articles in mainstream media, editorials, trying to change public opinion, trying to get you to think a certain way. Very deliberate work done by the CIA. This is a real operation they had, Operation Mockingbird. They had agents that posed. You hear me? Agents, CIA agents, that posed as journalists. They pretended to be journalists. They were basically actors, all looking to play their role to steer public opinion in a direction that they wanted you to go in. You need to be aware of this, folks, because when you listen to people, and again, I say this also with a lot of respect for humanity, we have to stop being so naive and gullible. We know deep down, intuitively, we know that being gullible and naive doesn't sound good. And I know there's people out there that still prescribe to this sense of, come on, Jonathan, ignorance is bliss. I just want to chill. I don't want to go into anything. I don't need to know anything, man. Everything's just cool. I just rather not listen to any of that stuff at all. Well, I would venture to say that if you go that way long enough, that kind of thing can bite you in the butt later on. Like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me? I didn't know. When you really get in trouble, it might be too late. I think you hear what I'm saying. So basically, the film goes into many other things as well as I wrap up here today. And yes, don't worry. You will not be disappointed. You, even if you're experienced and you really have studied this, you will be so pleased to watch this film. But you will feel so excited if you can get this film in front of somebody that has never heard anything that I've just said, because it goes into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Gavi, Global Alliance for Vaccine, okay? It's basically a whole organization that is behind all of the vaccines throughout the entire world that get deployed today, all backed by Bill Gates. So it goes into Gavi, its agenda. It goes into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, plus so much more. And again, I know this sounds like maybe for some of you, Jonathan, you have really gone into this deep, like so much. Why are you bothering to cover this film so much today? I mean, usually you talk about fruits and vegetables. You talk about some chemicals to avoid, And again, I'm not making fun. I know that's more normally what I do. But this film is that important for everyone to see. It's at no cost to you, okay? You can download it, which is cool too. And again, I have no shares in the company, just so you know. Mickey is not paying me money to do this. I am doing this on my own time because it impacted my life so strongly. I so appreciate Mickey for creating this film, and I feel like this is exactly the kind of thing we need to get in the hands of so many more people to really help accelerate change in this world in a much better way. Not just change for the sake of change, but real change by waking people up in the best way possible. People will really get informed about issues. They're not going to feel as stressed out. They're not going to feel as confused. They're not going to, honestly, I've been in this industry 35 years. I wasn't depressed looking at this. You might think on the surface, oh, Jonathan, looking at all this stuff, it's a downer. Not at all. I was pumped. I was like, yes. Mickey is saying what so many of us on an intuitive level, we know this stuff is going on. And he put it together for real on film for everybody to see. Go visit plandemicseries.com. Someone please help me out in the comment section so we're not banging away for every person like, oh my God, where do I get this? I don't know where to go. Please type in the comments section, plandemicseries.com. It's one word, plandemicseries.com. And if you just go to that website, you can download it, and it's that simple. I didn't enter an email, nothing. It's right there. You can watch it on the website, and there's a button there. You click it, and if you have enough room on your computer or your device, you could just download it and have it, and then you could just show it as like a great film at home and have company over and have them all watch it, get the organic popcorn out and, the purified water and, whatever else you like, and just watch a great film. That's basically it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have a question for you today. You may have seen it already. That's fine. If not, let me ask you now. What's your opinion about COVID-19? Come on, be serious. A, it is serious, and we need a vaccine right away. B, it's planned. This whole pandemic was a planned event orchestrated by some of these global controllers to destroy our lives as we know it. C, it'll just go away on its own, and that's what you feel. Or D, I leave it always to other. You fill in the blank and let me know what is your opinion about COVID-19. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this show. Just as a reminder, the Natural Health 365 live broadcast is every single day, Monday to Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. We do another show for you, and it's all about helping you to protect your immune system so that it will automatically protect your health now and into the future. And if you enjoyed this show, please again do me a big favor. Share this program with someone that you love. Tag them in the comments section. Email them the link. You know the drill. Whatever you can do. Thank you so much for being with me. I do really appreciate each and every one of you. All of your comments, all of your thumbs up, all of your hearts, all of your love, all of your intelligence, all of your great comments down below. I really do appreciate your support. It keeps me going every single day. Thank you very much for being with me, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care, everybody.